It is very common for us, the elders, to feel teenage behavior very strange. I'll start off with a very interesting example. 2 years back, one father met me. He wanted some assistance to join his son into a residential institution. So he wanted my suggestions for that. Father was narrating me an interesting story about his strange son. This father started as a cab driver in the city of Bengaluru. With a lot of determination and hard work, he has grown into a small travel agency owner over the years. With the property or with the wealth that he has gained, he provided all the privileges to his son. He had an air-conditioned bedroom separately for him. He was joined into a renowned international school for his studies. There was a separate four-wheeler dedicated to this child for commuting to school every day with a driver. The employees of the travel agency or the neighbors or the relatives of this father always praised this boy as a genius because of the way he presented himself to them. Whereas the teachers at the school had a different version. They were saying he is not dedicated enough, he is not serious enough in the class, he doesn't worry if he scores less also. Apart from providing some tutors at home, father brought one of his nephews from an adjacent small town by convincing his in-laws and joined that child also in the same school so that both brother-in-laws will be having company for each other and they will be assisting each other in studying nicely. One fine evening, both these boys have absconded from home. Father has become alert immediately, has alerted all his networks in and around, took the help of police and police stations in various places. After an extensive, serious, personally involved 8-hour-long drill, these two children were caught hold in a railway station 150 kilometers away from the city. When the boy was asked, "Where were you headed?" the boy told peacefully, "We wanted to visit Himalayas and try trekking there. It is quite boring here. You people always say study, study, study. We are frustrated." The father narrated this entire story to me and kept wondering with me, this boy appears to be very mature at times. But I don't understand how he could behave so foolish that time. Don't these children think of consequences of such nonsense acts? I agree, not only to the father, for every one of us, this behavior looks very weird and very strange. But to science, this behavior is absolutely normal and physiologically justified in teenagers. Hi, this is KIRAN Sidde. Let us today understand 3 key physiological differences in child's brain that lead to an indifferent behavior by teenagers at times and how to tackle with them. It is very common for the teenage children to show impulsive attitude and aggression. You would find it very strenuous to go outside and play in the hot sun, but your son loves it. You will be very happy to go to sleep by 10:30 in the night and you would be praying God to give a tensionless 7-hour-long sleep happily. Whereas your child might remain awake until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning to play PUBG or Call of Duty online. You think twice to go to a movie by yourself or with friends because you are bound to family responsibility. Whereas your son or daughter happily goes without a second thought because he or she feels independent though they are dependent on you. You will be wondering how many times this boy gets hurt repeatedly due to the similar silly accidents. Doesn't he have common sense to avoid them next time? Let us now understand why they behave the way they behave. Adolescence is a very crucial stage of child's brain development. Now there are 3 very important aspects of brain development that control child's behavior. Number 1, the pruning or the trimming of the unused connections of brain related to thinking, processing the information, decision making, etc. starts from back of the brain and move towards the front. Number two, because of that, the prefrontal cortex of the brain is developed at the last. The development of prefrontal cortex goes almost into the early adulthood, that is towards the end of the teenage. Number three, because the prefrontal cortex is not completely ready for their decision making and for their problem solving, children use a part of the brain called amygdala. While prefrontal cortex controls reasoning, helps solving problems, helps think before act, and controls impulses, the amygdala is associated with the emotions, supports impulses, stimulates aggression, and always instigates instinctive behavior with the child. Now you see, because of the back to front development of the brain, children are using amygdala that controls the instinctive behavior, that supports the impulsive behavior for their decision making as well as their problem solving. At times they behave mature, at times they behave illogical and impulsive because of this back to front development of the brain. So the important point to be underlined clearly here is, our teenagers are working with a brain that is still under construction. And that is the reason for the indifference in their behavior. Let us now understand how to tackle that. I am going to give some tips to both elders, the parents and teachers who are going to deal with the teenagers, and to the teenagers themselves. Parents and teachers, please understand, I am not saying here that because of these differences in brain, children can never make any good decisions. And I am also not saying that because of these differences in brain, it is justified to behave however indifferently they like. No. If parents, teachers and policy makers are aware of these physiological differences in children, they can manage, anticipate and understand adolescent behavior and then deal with them accordingly. If you are a parent or a teacher who is regularly dealing with teenagers, here are few takeaways for you. Firstly, we should learn to empathize with the children with this aspect of brain development. Whenever we are dealing an indifferent behavior from the teenager, we should be very clearly understanding at the back of our mind that this child is dealing with under construction brain. And that is why he or she is behaving like this. Then we will be dealing with them in a composed manner and we get right results. If we don't have this awareness, we enter into an emotional autopilot mode, we become aggressive and we cannot expect any change or good results out of our disciplining with the child. Parents and teachers themselves should believe and make children understand that feelings like rage, aggression, jealousy, hatred are not unnatural. They are common human feelings. Being attracted to opposite sex, having pleasure in substance abuse like smoking or alcoholism, etc. are also not uncommon. Only thing that you as a teenager, as a child have to understand is age, health, moral conscience are more important than being succumbed to temporary pleasures. And that is why you should not be attracted to them. Otherwise, they are not strange. One of the biggest problems in Indian families is parents try to hide all their problems with the children and feel that they are doing a favor to the children by doing so. Any relation-related conflicts between wife and husband or with relatives or any colleagues outside, any work-related stress or any financial problems, all these things they feel children should not know, their mind should not be unnecessarily disturbed, let them focus on studies, let them be very happy, let me not discuss any of my problems with them. And by doing so, you are doing a big mistake. Please discuss some of your problems with your child. Involve them. That develops not only the belongingness of the child, when he or she starts thinking towards your problems and tries to come out with some suggestions, they are forcing their brain to work towards problem solving. As a result, the development of prefrontal cortex will be speeded up and your child becomes sensible faster at an younger age. Erik Erikson, as a part of his 8 stages of psychological development in human beings, describes the teenage stage or adolescent stage as identity versus role confusion stage. See, during teenage, children start finding that they have a lot of roles to play. As a student, as a son, as a friend, as a sibling, etc., etc., etc. And they'll be finding identity crisis. Who exactly am I? Now they wish to go out and explore and find out who they are. If you allow them to go out and explore, they grow up to be independent. Whereas if you conform them to your views and thoughts and start restricting them with an orthodox parenting, then they end up confused. If you really want them to become independent, apart from allowing them to go out and explore, yourself, you can start assigning them simple tasks with calculated risks. If you are regularly assigning tasks with calculated risks and helping them to think independently, then their aggression comes down, and whenever they want to get into high risk activities, like the guy trying to go for Himalayan trekking, that will be avoided and their brain thinks composed. Few parents tend to take their children for granted. They feel we have given all the freedom to the child, so whenever they have a crisis, whom do they go? They will come to me only. And you are absolutely wrong. They are growing. Their circle is growing. So sometimes during crisis, there is every chance that instead of approaching you, they may approach some other source from their circles. And that source may or may not be safe for them to explore. So make it a point to regularly inquire their status, to regularly talk to them, keep giving them confidence, keep asking them questions about their daily routine, their friend circle, their experiences, their whereabouts, their going, coming, etc. So that they will develop a conscious in their mind that you are concerned about them and you are approachable to them. Then only during their real crisis, they will approach you and they will give you a chance to help them in the right way. These are certain takeaways for elders. If you are interested in reading, for more tips, more information, you can read my blog from kiransidde.medium.com. The link is provided in the description below. Let me now talk to my students, the teenagers. There is nothing wrong in being surrendered to the elders' children. Independent thinking is very good, but independent execution without thinking is absolutely wrong. Independent execution without delegation with elders is absolutely wrong. That's why always please share your opinions, please share your thoughts, please share your decisions with your parents. And be open-minded to receive criticism, to receive rejection, to receive opposition from them. If your parents are strongly, stubbornly against a particular thing, please don't go for it. See, every parent will not be able to explain it in a convincing manner to you. But you must believe in their instincts, you must believe in their experience and follow them while making certain decisions. And that way, your amygdala decisions, your impulsive decisions will not disturb or ruin your life. Children, you should keep for yourself few emotional outlets where you can express your feelings regularly. Singing, dancing, playing any instrument or sports or writing some poetry or stories are very fantastic creative ways of pushing out your feelings. Secondly, you can make a habit of writing a journal, writing a diary regularly, wherein you can always introspect the activities that you have done that day, repercussions of those activities, and whether they were good or bad. You can have some yellow sticky notes in your bedroom, and whenever you do something good, you put an appreciation comment and stick it there. Whenever you do something bad, you criticize yourself, write a comment and stick it there. This creates a lot of self-awareness so that you will be using your brain in a right manner. Always encourage your friends, siblings to come and speak or share their problems with you. You may or may not really solve their problems, but mere listening to their problems will help them find their own solutions so they are happy. At the same time, when you are regularly exposed to the different situations and different contexts of human life, you are getting ready for tackling your personal context when they arise for you. So, it helps you add others' experiences to your life and become more matured. Last but most important tip I am giving you is, your body and brain needs enough sleep. Unfortunately, melatonin is secreted by your brain at different time of the day. As a result, towards the late evening, you feel like sleeping. Some children control the sleep that time because they have to do some homework or something. And later, during the night, for their entertainment or other purposes, they control the sleep, both of which are dangerous. So during the late evening, when you feel a bit sleepy, don't go for a full-fledged sleep. Better go for a power nap for short durations as 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then, please have a minimum of 7 to 8 hours of sleep during the nights without fail. And understand, not only the duration of sleep, the timings of sleep matters. You can't say, I'll sleep at 1 a.m. in the morning and I'll wake up 9 a.m., which means that I have had 8 hours of sleep. It is old, yet it is golden. So I am reiterating on that. Early to bed, early to rise should become your regular sleeping pattern for your brain to be active and more sensible parts of your brain to function regularly for you. Both parents and children, both elders and teenagers should understand that emotional intelligence is the key to peaceful life. So if we could understand our brain patterns and plan to keep that under our control, we'll be able to grow more sensible and conquer life. All the best. Thanks for listening.